Satnam beauties, happy Sunday. So we're gonna party out a little bit at the studio. We're gonna do a photo shoot during. So the class is free, so you don't have to use a package. You don't have to sign in. You just come. And then we're going to be asking some of you to, if you want, to stay a little bit after to do some choreographed shots. And yeah, and if you can do anything to get people to come and see GDF online or in person, we sure would appreciate it. All right, today we're talking about what's really happening with this practice. Ideally, with our sadhana, right? And what happens when we're all together, and what happens in life is the pursuit of our Kundalini. Kundalini is like a rocket fuel for the soul. It's something that helps us truly become who we are meant to be. And how that happens, so the Kundalini is always rising. But when we do this practice and these breath works and these locks, that's when we start to increase the ascension of the Kundalini. Cultivating the ascent of our Kundalini increases our vibrational frequency. That's an important goal on the spiritual path. When our Kundalini rises up our spine and our pituitary and pineal glands begin to secrete, our third eye and crown chakras open. That foggy veil that separates physical and non-physical realities lifts, and we become conscious of a vastly expanded view of reality. Here's how it really works. As that veil disappears, we see clearly the difference between our egoic desire and our soul desire. There's nothing bad about the ego, but it isn't useful to ascension. Okay, it has to get in the back seat. We need it, but it doesn't get to take the lead anymore. Ultimately, the more we practice and practice, everything sort of dissolves. Even our need to do specific meditations and breath work. And I'm talking like, I'm not there after 20 years. But eventually, all technique dissolves because we finally truly know who we are. Okay? We know we are the God force, and we know that everything around us. So we stop the fighting. The fear dissipates. The comparing stops. The need for other people's attention goes away. Why? Why? Because we know we are full of love. It doesn't. And just like, here's the thing. There are so many parables and so many stories in all of the spiritual paths where the Christ itself, the Buddha itself, the Godhead itself thirsts for our love. And here's why. Because we are made in the image of this Godhead. And just like we benefit so much when we love ourselves, it's like when we love what created us, when we love love, now something begins to happen, because that's what the Godhead thirsts for when it created us. But it doesn't, like anybody else, right? It doesn't want to force us, right? It's not going to, hey, I'm over here. Do you love me? No. When it happens, it happens. God is patient. Love is patient. You see how the Corinthians and Rumi, what they do in Kiel Gibran, these great poems of love, take God and make it love itself. Now I want to talk about energy. So when you look at the vibrational scale, love is where Kundalini works. Love is the doer. Love gets things done. It removes the veils between you and the darkness and the light, and it helps you clearly see. Love gives you the patience to endure as you heal. Love gives you the courage to say the things that feel impossible to say. Love is the doer. Because after love, we get to, when we love, enough, when we have love till the scale inside of us is bigger love than fear. Now, how do we know that? It's like, well, when maybe like even one of my kids doesn't like the way I'm being and I feel rejected by my own child. That's a hard one, right? Or I have been, kind of persecuted for being myself by my own mother. When that doesn't keep love out of my heart, when I can be up against a situation that seems unrepairable, and yet I'm still seeking love and acceptance, and I'm able to know, oh my God, love is here, and have compassion for the person that wants to project that on me and let it go, and trust that this love force will take care of it, that there's no words or actions, I've done it all, that now I can surrender. That is when love gets big. And as love heals and becomes the predominant energy in our lives, that is when joy begins to happen. Joy, like the laughter and the giggle, like, oh my God, the sunrise is gorgeous. And oh my God, I can't believe I got caught up in that. I love them. And the joy of it. We resist joy. Joy is one of the things that right now, y'all, right now, the Sophia, the mama, she wants us to be full of joy. She knows that, war is happening. She goes, it's not that you cannot contribute. You do what you can for the violence, but then you stay in the lane and experience joy, because joy is going to help you generate energy and light. The good needs more energy, and your joy, more than love, makes that happen. When joy is experienced more often, guess what happens? You experience true peace. And true peace continues to be that healing balm, that healing salve that disintegrates fear more and more. And ultimately, you enlighten. What does that mean? You are fully illumined. You know you are human. You know all that comes with that. The weightiness of fear, the projection of envy and jealousy. And yet you have this care for it, because you also know you are fully divine. And so now this doesn't rule your world. Other people don't necessarily experience envy or hatred from you, because you are loving that part of you. And you don't need to attract those energies into your life and judge them anymore, because you've healed them. You have enlightened. You're human. You still, do human things, but you are not enamored by fear. That's the bottom line. Fear is not the leading energy. And all of this happens because of sadhana. Because of sadhana, because of conscious breathing, because of doing group Kundalini, because of studying on your own, because of sitting in silence, because of walking in nature. You become a generator of the good, and that is how we heal and change the earth. So that's Karyang. What is the destroyer? Sadhana. What is the destroyer? Kundalini classes. What is the destroyer? You choosing love over hate. Karyang. Right? And if you notice, there's such great love in these ways of destroying fear. Just like Martin Luther King, every great nonviolent, Gandhi, Jesus, all Mother Teresa, every great one who fought fear and war and hatred said, you can only do it with love. You can't go after it with what it is. It'll only make the fire bigger. And boy, don't we know that. So, Karyang, destroy fear today by doing things that amplify the soul and subdue the ego. The ego also needs our love, and the best way to love it is to do a Kundalini practice, to be around like-minded people. Sometimes our family of origin is not like-minded. Even with myself, because of things, because of the way I made certain mistakes, even with Treasure, there were times that's my daughter, I had to back off, like let the wheel go, right? And gather the love and healing for myself. Stop seeking out there. And, that's a good thing. When God even shows me, not even from your daughter, right? Don't even go after it from your mom. And you can say, oh, but I deserve it. And why are they so, I'm too much. Doesn't matter. And I'll tell you, what happened in that is I became whole. I also became a different version of me and her mom. And she doesn't know any of this. I just know I had to reel my ass in. Also, so she, she gets to express whatever she wants. I want to be that pillar of light that can take it and listen and adjust. Who cares? Right? Because the only thing that's getting its button pushed is my ego. And that's true with sometimes teachers in my life and clients in my life and, all of it. I have to ask, why are you disturbed, Marcia? Because the healing is the part of you that's disturbed, not them doing it. They're a blessing showing you what still is ready and coming up to the surface to be healed. Truly, I know this is weird. And I'm not in this experience all the time, but I'm in often. That's a good word. That's about how much. Often. Where people are definitely judging me or doing things that would normally really ouch. And it doesn't hurt. And it's not because I'm numb. It's not because I'm spiritually bypassing. It's because love is big in that moment for whatever reason. And I love them. And I realize it's their pain. And just love them. If they need to make me the reason for their pain, fine. If you hold space for that, the most beautiful thing happens. If you don't resist, because if you resist, then they get in the conflict with you. But if you don't, you just love them and truly listen. Okay, all right, I hear what you're saying. Leave it at that. Then they get to feel themselves. And they get to begin to heal. Unless they're totally narcissistic but then they'll just go away because you're no fun, because you're not going to play. But most people are going to go, they're going to be appreciative that you're willing to hold that space. And then they're going to be able in the next day, week, whatever, feel their side of the street. And that's, every healthy person is so glad when they feel that. Even if it's uncomfortable when I realize, oh, fuck, Marcia, that was you, babe. That wasn't them. I'm still glad. You know why? Because at least I can feel better now. At least that's fixable. Anyway, I love you. I love you. I love you. I do. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I hope I see a lot of you today in studio and online. Sadnam.